Hello fellow readers, today I am here to talk about Volume 2 of Reki Kawahara's novel series Accel World. This one finds our characters from Volume 1 about 2 months later, defending their territory as under the banner of Nega Nebulous. And their territory is essentially their school and sort of the area where they live, and they're defending that against other brain bursters trying to incur against them. Now the main story is actually about Nega Nebulous teaming up with the Red King and hunting down one of the Red King's players who's become possessed by a cursed piece of armor. Now, like a lot of Reki Kawahara's stuff, I'm not going to say that this novel is super deep or anything, but it is very entertaining. The fight scenes are well choreographed in terms of how they're described in the book. The characters have their moments, and even if they don't have an amazing arc, they certainly do have moments where they show a little bit of depth and growth. Particularly Haruyuki, who, I mean, of course, is the main character. And considering he starts from such a low point, and this was Accel World, it was just like this, the Volume 1, that he starts from such a low point and total self-esteem collapse that you can't help but have him move along through the book. In fact, that's one of the things that I like kind of about Haruyuki in this particular series. If you compare it to, say, Sword Art Online and this typical idea that the main character is almost God-kun, right? Like that he's capable of beating any opponent. The thing about Haruyuki that I kind of enjoy is that he does get his butt kicked. Like, he doesn't always win. And he loses confidence in himself. And even if he does have sort of this total devotion to Kuryoki Hime and helping her, he still doubts himself, and he still thinks, like, I need to carry on because I don't have any other choice, but I suck, is what he basically comes down to almost all the time. And in a way, this actually makes me root for him more as a character, because he's not perfect, and he is fallible, and he does lose sometimes, and in a way that kind of ratchets up the action, because you sit there and you're like, he could lose this battle. Like, this is not a sure thing just because he's the hero in this. He does lose sometimes, and even if he does win, it's usually not without its cost. This novel kind of advances the whole world of Accel World. It gives us a bit more of an insight into the politics, into the way that these players manipulate each other, which is pretty shocking when you consider that the oldest people that can play the game are like 16 or 17, right? But still, it shows how they play these games of power with each other and how they try to wiggle through gray areas in terms of the agreements that they have. It also gives you the sense of how the game has a larger effect on reality. Of course, in the first book, we actually see the whole thing where they can slow time and sort of affect the world, or at least see things that are coming in the world ahead of time so they can plot out and everything else. But in this novel, when they start talking about like cursed armors and different things like that, you start getting the sense that the game is not just a game, that maybe one of the reasons that it requires that the brain has been hooked up to this machine all the time is so that it can actually change the brain. It can actually influence the players' behaviors and their reaction times. And it's an interesting concept, I think, in terms of, do games change us? Does playing games change us? Now, I'm not saying that this gets quite that heady, but definitely it starts approaching that idea that the game is more than just a game, and that the game should be viewed as more than just a simple game. All in all, Volume 2 is pretty good. I had a lot of fun reading it. It's pretty straight ahead. I mean, there's not a lot of twists and turns in this one, but I enjoy the character. The character of the Red King is a lot of fun, and they get into a lot of crazy situations. And the backstory of the Red King that's kind of revealed towards the end was actually pretty cool and explained the behavior of the Red King throughout the novel in a really decent way. And really tied into the idea and themes of the friendships that are formed in the game and the relationships that are born in the game, and what are the relationships in terms of what survives outside of the game and what only exists for the game. So kind of interesting, and maybe written at the time where we were on the cusp of a lot of MMORPGs, where we were creating virtual selves, fighting in worlds, and teaming up with other people. So again, Volume 2 of Accel World does not disappoint. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It certainly helped to expand the world a bit more. And even though it kind of put Taku and Chiuri in the background and they really didn't get much in the way of development, we had some really good moments with Kurioki Hime and with the Red King, and of course Horikoshi as he struggles to find his place in the Accel world and how he can best serve his chosen princess. So that's my review on Volume 2 of Accel World. Volume 3 is actually coming out this month, so I'll be checking that one out for sure because I've really enjoyed Volumes 1 and 2. This story really works well in the written word, maybe even slightly better than the manga or the anime. Go figure. So thanks very much for watching the video, and I hope you'll check out some of my other videos. Until next time, I will talk to you later. Thanks. Bye-bye.